Can anyone catch them, do you think?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, unbelievable. We didn't expect that.
Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of the Away Gooners podcast. So we've got Arun and Deepak back. Hi Arun, hi Deepak.
Hello.
We are trying to do a preview of the Newcastle game after the most deflating episode of all time in the Away Gooners podcast, which is the Liverpool review. Even though that was not a great loss, but it felt like, even listening back to how we are talking, it felt like it's one of the worst losses we have ever come across. So trying to inject a sense of...
But honestly, Vijay, if the worst episode is going to come this early in the season, then I think there's only one way from here, that's up, right? So everything is just going to be good for now.
There you have it, folks. The sense of positivity from Arun. So but that's what we are trying to do, trying to see any positives out of the Newcastle game, because like the guy next to me in the bar after the Liverpool loss was saying, "Oh, Newcastle are in for a battering from Arsenal next game." So hopefully that is going to. Deepak has already scoffed at the whole idea. But let's try and see what we are looking forward to, or what is our expectations out of the Newcastle game. That's what we are trying to do in this episode, right? So so the first thing I wanted to talk about is like that. After the 4-0 defeat, what is Arteta? What would be Arteta's reaction in the dressing room before or during the training, Arun? Like, is he going to say like, "It's okay, guys, let's go ahead and do it," or is he going to like, "That is shambolic. We need to be better than this"?
I guess we'll get to see it in the Prime Video when it comes out. I remember seeing something recently where Arteta had mentioned that the response after the defeat from the group, from the dressing room, was really impressive. Like we spoke during the preview episode, this was not a game that, like, this result is not something that we should be dwelling on too much. It's all about like how we respond and come and like play the next game against Newcastle, given like it's a winnable game. I would assume that it would not that we can predict it, but like I would just assume that it would have been, knowing how Arteta has been doing things so far, knowing how the team has been responding, and knowing how they've been doing, it would have been like sort of like it was okay. We played against the champions and they beat us, but we did put in a performance that we can be proud of, at least for like one half of the game, if you could call it. So it's all about learning. This season is about learning, and it's about taking what we learned from them, making sure we don't make the next mistakes, and just let's keep moving on. We have a winning game coming up, so I would have told him like, yeah, the performance was not good enough, but it doesn't mean that you guys were terrible. There are positives to take on from it, so let's move on from here. That's how, knowing Arteta and like knowing all that he's done so far, that's how I would assume he would be like doing his dressing room talk. Yeah. I don't think there was any hair dryer treatment sort of a thing that was deserved for that match for anybody, because everybody did like collectively fail in the second half, though we did have individual mistakes. But if we were to be giving the hair dryer treatment, then we need 11 hair dryers, so that's not going to happen. So I mean, like, I do not see any reason for reprimanding the players after a loss like this. But again, it should not be made to seem like this is normal and this is the regular narrative. And when losing like this is, there should never be a sense or an idea in the player's mind that this losing like this, and 4-0 can be normal. So that's the thing that he has to make sure to avoid. Show them that this should be one-off, but this is where we should be building on.
That is what even I was thinking, like, because even within fans, right, this 4-0, I felt like this has become like a normal, but we need to understand that this should be one-off. This shouldn't be going on about like, okay, yeah, we have seen worse. No, this is worse too. But Deepak, learning from the mistakes, right, about team news, our team starting lineup or whatever we are talking about, is there going to be changes? Because I feel that Nuno, for all his good sense, has lost his spot in the one bad game, at least in my mind, right? Like, I want KT back to the back four. But again, one bad game doesn't define that Nuno is a bad player, but that is how I feel like, okay, for the next game, let's go safe. Let's bring in KT. He is our first choice. Nuno has time at his side. That is how I am thinking. Like, do you feel any other changes in the team? Do you feel, okay, this player can go away and this player can come in? And
Obviously, you can remove Laka and start Odegaard. This is your home game. You need your number 10 who like creates chances rather than Laka trying to defend from the front. So that would be one obvious change we can make. And like as you said, like uh, dropping Nuno, it makes sense. Like not per se dropping. This would be a good game to bring KT back because of his long injury. So he needs game time as well. So starting him for like 60 minutes or 70 minutes against Newcastle at your home would be like a good place to start for KT after his injury. So apart from that, I don't see any changes. You have to you have to stick with Auba, even though he has been shit. There is no other choice there. And then ESR and Saka, it's a given. We are completely dependent on these two youngsters.
Would you give Sambi another game? We don't know how Partey is. Like I'm hoping that he's still not injury ridden. But will you retain Sambi after lost performance, or do you think Ayman deserves a start?
I think I would still retain Sambi. He has been like decent for the run of games. I still don't trust Ayman. So you can see what's the level of trust I have on Ayman.
Good news is Deepak, your favorite Xhaka might be back soon. He mentioned like there was an interview that I read that he might be back soon. So
yeah, we need him, right? Like Partey is going off for AFCON, and yeah, so we even doesn't matter if he's like good enough or not. You still need the numbers. During January, so you need him back definitely.
Yeah, but I think like the fact that he's going to be coming back in like 3 or 4 weeks, or like whether he's going to be back in training, is there going to be a definite boost for us if we were to be like thinking he's going to be probably back around like Christmas time. That's when we go into the fixture list with a lot of games. And if Partey is leaving at that point, I'm assuming he's going to leave at that point because they need to go in quarantine. So I'm assuming like it's going to be 2 weeks before, 2 weeks after the tournament as well. So given all this, the presence of someone like Xhaka is very crucial. We cannot be going in with Ayman and Sambi. I just shudder to think what would be happening if we were going in there with just Ayman and Sambi. So I'm very happy that Xhaka's coming back. Yeah, we have like slated him. We have abused him. But the thing right now is that the team is in such a state that he's the one who is needed, so we have to accept facts at that point. Yes, it's going to be very crucial for him coming back from game. More than him coming back from game, it would be like how well he can continue on with like, the coming back from injury. That's what I would be more interested. It's not about the performances from the right at the beginning. Like Deepak said, it's about the numbers and the presence. And if he's able to have the same presence as before, in at least like making sure that he can control a big portion of the pitch, and that would be really good.
I have sort of forgotten Granit Xhaka in my mind, at least for a couple of minutes. Like it feels like it's been so long that the team kind of is different, that now when I think of Xhaka coming back, I'm thinking like, oh shit, yeah, we do have Xhaka in our midst, right? When I'm thinking about it. Okay, coming back to the game though, Arun, like there has been reports saying that Rob Holding has been impressing Arsenal coaches in the training. So would you shuffle the back four? Would you shuffle the CB pairing?
No. Things are going fine. Why do you want to do that?
Or let me put it this way, okay. The time since Eddie Howe has come in as Newcastle manager, he has started as back three. Would you play a back three against Newcastle, matching them?
No, I mean, like if I were to play a back three, I would only play it like when I know that things are going to be difficult. I'm assuming things are not going to be difficult against Newcastle. So no,
I was just only asking because I wanted to throw away some stuff from Newcastle's last game. They had 26 or 29 shots. I don't know which is which.
Yeah, 26, I think.
26 shots on target last game. And also they had like, I think total of 120 opportunities or chances created or something in that last game. So they are in a very good form, even though they are not winning.
Well, it's one game. I mean, like, I don't know if we have to attach so much, like with to one game with a new manager. I mean, I'm just looking at the stats for the match that you're talking about, and what I see here is that Newcastle against Brentford at home. Yeah, they created 23 chances and they had 9 shots. Now, you were telling me that this was the first game with Eddie Howe, right?
Second game.
Yeah, second game with Eddie Howe. So, I mean, like, I wouldn't be. It could also be the new manager bounce, but then like that was again at home. So I would attach I wouldn't attach too much of thing to it. They were playing at home. They were playing against Brentford, so I would expect them to perform well.
We played against Brentford at
away from home.
Yeah, but still
with the mentioned Rob Holding that you're talking about. So that's exactly the reason why I do not want him in the team. No, the thing is, like, yeah, I read that news too. The fact that Holding has been impressing the coaches in the training and all that, that's really good, because it shows that he's not like, just sitting there. He's like trying to impress people. He's trying to fight his way back into the team. Unfortunately, the level that we require and the level that he has is not good enough for all the 38 games in a Premier League season. So I am happy that he's like keeping himself fit, continuing to impress people, because we are going to need him for the cup games. So yeah, in that aspect, I'm very happy. But would it merit a place in the starting lineup right now, given how well White and Gabriel have been performing? No, I don't think so. Maybe can you imagine like what would have happened if Holding was as a part of the back two against Liverpool? Do you think the score would have still stayed 4-0?
We never know. We never know.
How can you say we never know? There's only one right answer for that. That's no. It's going to be more.
Because I still feel Rob Holding is a very good defender, and I still feel he is very good when it comes to one-on-one defending, and that is the reason I feel like, okay, yeah, he could have taken Mane on better than what White did in the whole game.
Really, for me, like, it was more. Yeah, I agree with you. One-on-one, he's good, but then like anything else that he has in his game doesn't add any value to what the team.
Yeah, but we didn't play out for
we didn't have to play out from the back.
We didn't score anything. We didn't even try and move the ball up. So there was nothing that White brought to the table that was used in that game. I mean, I'm not saying White needs to be replaced. Absolutely not. White is much superior defender than Rob Holding is at the moment. But I'm just saying, like, in that game, if you substitute White and Holding, I don't see a lot of difference.
Yeah, maybe. That is for this game. Like for Newcastle, we are expected to dominate.
Yeah.
And you need White's passing. So
okay.
Obvious choices.
And not Holding's Holdings. We need White's passing.
But Deepak, again, to the midfield, right? We were talking earlier. So I'm not a fan of AMN in that sense. Like he has his qualities, but he is not the type of midfielder that we would want, right? But again, their midfield, Newcastle's midfield, has our very own Joe Willock and Jojo Shelby, and this is someone that AMN knows. Like, at least Willock, he knows what kind of runs he's going to make. They grow up together. They cross path in the Arsenal Academy a lot. So keeping all that in mind, and also like they're going to play a back three. So keeping all that in mind, would you still go? For me, I'm still on the fence about like playing Sambi or AMN in that position. Right, when AMN came in at Liverpool, he didn't do anything to merit a starting lineup ahead of Sambi. But again, with the game in question and with the players in question, would you go ahead for AMN midfield, AMN and Partey midfield, so that Partey could go further up, would play further up the pitch?
So you're saying AMN would protect the back four with Partey pushing? Yeah. If you look at from that point of view, like that AMN knows a lot more about Willock, it makes sense to start him. But what kind of message that sends to Sambi? It's like, okay, I had one bad game, you're dropping me.
But yes, that's the thing, because the thing is, like, Sambi played last game, but didn't like AMN have a terrific game against Watford before we went into the break, and he wasn't playing the next game. So what sort of a message did it send to him then?
Yeah, man, I don't care what message goes to him. We know like what kind of message we have been sending to him, and it has always been mixed messages. We wanted him to sell, we want him back, we all these things is happening. So yeah, if we want, for that sake of he knows Bilek, we will start him and see what happens.
Actually, I have a different question that just popped into my mind, right? Like, we do have Matthew Genduzi in our books. With AMN, Sambi, and Ginduzi. If you
He's
could
not
keep
coming
two.
back. Genduzi is not coming back.
Yeah.
No, just for argument's sake, if you have to keep two out of the three, if you have to keep two, or let's put in like El Neni too in that. Out of the four, if you have to put two, whom are you picking?
I would still pick Sambi and I would even say I would pick El Neni.
That is a
Yeah.
surprise from
For-
Deepak picking El Neni ahead of anyone else.
Yeah,
El
but-
Neni is like he is not great. We all know that, but he's pretty functional. He is like, let's say, like Denilson. If you surround him with a great player like a Fabregas, it is a little. He's a functional player with. He just passes, gives protects you and gives the ball so that the better player plays well. So he is that kind of a player. Gunduzi, among these four, Gunduzi is like the most talented. It's an obvious thing, but given the problems he had with Arteta and the dressing room and stuff, so obvious reason you don't select him. And A&M, basically I don't like him. That's it.
So Arun, so out of the four, pick two.
I would like to pick Gundozi, but like given the history and given all that we've seen with him, I do not see him fitting into the team, so that rules him out. Sambi is going to be there for sure. That's one pick, definitely. So between El Neni and the new El Neni, that's a very difficult choice, because I see Ayman becoming the new functional El Neni. Like, I can do anything the team wants and I won't complain. Give me 20,000 a week and I'll be happy, sort of a player. Plus, he's versatile, so I would pick him over El Neni. Plus, he tries to move further up the pitch than El Neni has ever dared to in his life. So, so yeah, given all that, I would say Ayman, because I see him as being like the functional utility player for the future that we need.
And for me personally, I would for Ayman, I would want him to take all penalties for Arsenal.
He is that is there. He is the best penalty taker.
But we haven't seen a lot of that. We have seen like one instance of his like being cool and taking a penalty, but still, like, that is much more cooler than what Aubameyang is trying or what. I'm not trusting Aubameyang.
I am done with the Aubameyang. That's it.
We would have to talk about the forwards in a moment, but before that, right? Like, let's stick to midfield a bit, because Partey has been a little bit about. We talked about this a little bit in the review part 2, and I don't want to repeat what we spoke a lot in previous episodes. But again, Arun, right? With Partey, the conundrum is: are we having a midfielder whose primary duty is defending, or are we having a midfielder whose primary duty is to enable the attack?
Partey, in my head, Partey does not have one specific strict role that he needs to adhere to. Like, there is not one thing. He's not someone who just has to enforce and like start attacks. He's not someone who just has to defend. The reason why we got him is because he's like a fantastic combination of all of this. Like, the modern day midfield general that we keep talking about. Someone who has the physical ability to make sure that we can save the ball at the same time, and the dynamism and the vision to maybe bomb forward or even like start attacks. So that's the kind of player. That's the reason why we got Sandy. So we can have someone like Xhaka who doesn't have to do a lot. All that Xhaka would have to do is like, make sure that that region is protected and he can keep giving balls forward. So in terms of function, for me, Partey is someone who has to do both. He has to do, there's no, I am going to do this and you take that. No, that's not the kind of midfielder that we want Partey for. He needs to be able to, being the most dynamic midfielder, he's being seen as the missing part of the puzzle, because we've seen that if he's not there, The midfield is not as functional as it should be. There's nothing, a lot coming through the middle. So his role is not just restricted. I wouldn't pigeonhole him into just defense or an attack. He's someone who is needed for the transitions. He's needed when we need to unlock stuff. He's needed when we need the insurance. So that's the kind of midfielder. I wonder if we'd be able to get another midfielder like that in the next 2 or 3 years, given how his form or the promise that we expected from him has not been delivered yet. Like we were expecting like an all-action midfield display like a Vieira, but we have not gotten that, and it's that's very disappointing.
Mm-hmm. Deepak, what's your mind on Partey about this kind of thing? Like, because when we got it, the same thing. Every Arsenal player fan was mentioning that Partey is going to be the missing piece that we should have had long time back. Someone who could destroy things, in the midfield and stuff like that. But he doesn't seem to be that destroyer for me. He doesn't seem to be the. He's having the shot in him, but we know what kind of Partey shot is. It has become like a joke of late that Partey shoots wherever. And we saw some vision early on in his game, but right now I don't see him moving the ball in that where there was a game, I don't remember which game, where he gave a very good pass to Tierney out of blue. Like he turns and he gives a very good pass to Tierney. He used to do that a little bit with Tierney and Pepe playing, but off late we don't see that side at all out of Partey too. So what kind of a Partey are you looking forward to in this? Not just this game, but in future.
Yeah,
More than what kind of Partey are you looking forward to? I think it should be what kind of Partey are you expecting from now on?
That's the question I was trying to put.
Simple answer is I'm looking forward to like a Partey who played in Atletico Madrid. He hasn't even shown that thing here. Maybe it is because he had like better midfield partners. Like when he was in Atletico, he had Koke, Saul, who are like great players. Maybe it is the pressure for him, like stepping up, like him being the one, because he wasn't the one in Atletico Madrid. He had like great players surrounding him as well. So maybe that is the pressure he's facing. Like I have to do everything, and I don't have anyone who like compliments me in a way. So that is some kind of thing which is going on.
I mean,
every player is good until like you put a lot of like what do you say, responsibility on them. Like,
but again, right? Like for me, that is the question, because he has not shown anything for me to feel that he's been overworked, right? Like if he was creating a lot, like how when Ozil when we had Giroud, right? He was creating a lot, but nothing was getting converted because we had Giroud in front, right? And that I could understand. He doesn't have the exact same players as he had in Real Madrid, or in this case, like as he had in Atletico Madrid. But there was nothing that Partey has shown till now that makes me feel that he's been overwhelmed by lack of support around him.
That is also true. That's what I'm saying. Like he thinks he has to do everything. Probably that might be the reason, or he doesn't have like a proper partner, or he cannot like function as like the player if you give him more responsibility and like, let's say you have to do this for us. Because let's say Partey had a bad game in Atletico Madrid, someone else used to step up for him and cover everything, like whatever they did. But in this case, if he has a bad game, it reflects clearly because he is the player which we need. Probably in that case, like if Xhaka comes back,
that's what I'm thinking too. Yeah,
a little help, like because Xhaka is still, whatever the fans can say, Xhaka is still the most progressive passer in our team.
Just I think you should just put a mirror to yourself, not the fans saying it's you who's been saying all this about Xhaka. You are the one slating Xhaka the most.
Yeah, so I slate Xhaka, but I appreciate him when he makes stupid passes, but not when he makes the most progressive passes.
So we should just rename Deepak as the fan that Xhaka needed to improve his performance.
The Xhaka stand, yeah.
But yeah, midfield.
So yeah, but simple, he has to improve. Plain and simple. That nothing else is there. He hasn't like shown anything. It's been what, second season or like nothing yet.
And it's not cheap. We got it for 45 million as well.
Yeah. I mean, we have done enough with the midfield, right? So let's talk about the attack, which is non-existent. That has been my concern a lot of the time recently, because even in this unbeaten run or whatever we are talking about, or the 10 games that we went on a run or whatever, we didn't score freely. I never felt that. I always felt that we are not going to concede, but I never felt that.
I want to correct you there. We didn't score. You don't have to add freely in there. We didn't score.
Okay. We didn't create freely.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Okay.
Right? Like,
Okay.
there was no, and this has been a concern in Arteta's team for quite some time, right? Like even in that space where last year when he was very close to getting fired, right? Even in that run, the problem that we had was Arsenal was not creating anything. Arteta has showed up the defense, but Arsenal under Arteta is not creating anything. And then we brought in the number 10 position back, and then Smith Rowe got in, and we started playing a couple of games good. But still, the whole problem remains that we are not able to create chances. We are very bad in the final third, where we are trying to create chances, right? And for me, the problem is twofold. First of all, if you remember, I think we have talked about this a little bit, like Andre talking about Pep Guardiola's method of game, right? How he sees attack is he will get you to the final third, and then as a player, you are supposed to express yourself in the final third. I feel that Arteta's system is similar way, but that the players that we have are not able to express in the final third properly, or they don't have the quality to express themselves in the final third properly. So
the reason.
Yeah, start the discussion on what you feel as the reason for Deepak, like for the attack being so blunt.
I don't know. I cannot pinpoint to like a particular reason. You can clearly see we can't create anything. Is it due to the player personnel we have, or is it due to the tactics? I don't know. Like
it's
yeah.
Now that I'm taking the thing off you, sorry to cut you off. It should not be because of player personnel. I don't think we should be giving that as a reason, because these are the players that the manager wanted to implement something that he thought was going to take us forward. So I do not know if player personnel it could be a reason. Sorry, Deepak, continue. Yeah, that's just something that I thought of.
And there is the next only reason. It's Arteta and it's tactics.
But that again, right? Like that Arteta and his tactics is again a problem that I have, right? Because we were talking earlier regarding like, or last year when we were talking like it's all like it is pass to Kieran in KT, and then KT will throw in a cross, and then we'll just hope someone gets a head on it. That was when we had, and Arteta came out with this famous it's all mathematics answer to it, right? But we are not doing that anymore. We are not like throwing in crosses anymore. So the system has somehow changed, but it's not changed in a positive way. And I don't see what is the change that has happened. Although now that we are talking about it, I'm thinking, okay, yeah, we are not crossing anymore. We are not doing that deep cross anymore. Yes, but what else are we doing? And I'm not coming up with any answer. Arun, like,
we are not doing anything. That is what it is. We are not doing literally anything in attack. The goals, even we score, it's kind of due to individual brilliance, or it is a set piece goal. That's it. That's the max we have been doing. Tell me one goal where we like had a proper team goal, except for the Spurs game where we blew them away. I don't see any other game. We probably the Aston Villa game, which we also, it was a set piece goal and a penalty and stuff. Apart from those two games, I don't see any of other games where we dominate, let alone dominate, have a proper attacking pattern where we scored a team goal. I can't even remember anything. So basically, we are not doing anything in attack.
But again, right, like Arun,
the last time the team goals that we're talking about, the good team goals that we scored that I can remember are the ones that we scored when we had a back three. when we had a defined pattern of play and we were just trying to like move the ball up, and then eventually there would be a cross that would end up with Aubameyang and he would score a goal. Apart from that, in terms of a team build up with goal, I am seeing us progressing the ball until the second, third, and then beyond that, the build up is not it's not happening. I do not know if it is the time that is taken by the players to get into the right positions, or the players are not getting into the right positions at all. That shouldn't be the case. It can be like against a game that presses well or defends well, but it cannot be the case against all the teams. If it is happening against all the teams, then that entire thing that we are doing, there's something terribly wrong with it. If you're not able to find the players in the final third. So for me, I do not know how long, though I want, I am in full support with what they are trying to do. I don't want to be negative. I'm trying to be supportive of what the team's doing. I do not know how long this pattern can keep repeating. Irrespective of the opposition, we just don't seem to be like doing anything when we're in spots where we have to. Before, when we started, we were playing the back three with insurance and all that. Once we moved from that, it was all about overloading the left side, KT Cross and Inshallah. And then for a brief period where Chambers was playing right back, we tried to tuck him as an inside midfielder, and he was also picking in the crosses. But out of all of this, there has just been like the concept of crosses. There has never been let's play through balls through the middle. That has never happened. In my eyes, I do not see any attempts being made at that. That is like a huge worry. All of this is not, we will be found out if we do not fix this very soon. We are going to be found out by January.
See, that's the thing, right? Like I can see one more pattern of play, which is like, okay, so either Ramsdale or Ben White will make that through ball or like the long ball into a striker or someone, and then someone else runs in with the ball, like they lay down and runs in. Like usually it's ESR who does that, who takes the ball and runs towards it. But again, right, that is not going to be the answer. That is my point. We cannot just be a team that is going to be like, okay, when the ball's dead, we are going to pass it this way and then score. But then ball is going to be dead like 20 times a game or something like that, 5-10 times a game like that. But we have another 90% of the game where we have to progress the ball with proper progression, right? But Deepak, again, we know that our best players are Saka and ESR, right? But what do they bring to the team? Can you pinpoint one thing that they bring to the team? ESR at times would make that run. Yes, he does the ball progression. Yes. But in the final third, what do these players contribute to the team?
Saka doesn't do that much nowadays. His like numbers are bad, even if you say for like a winger. Even Pepe has better numbers than him. But Saka, like, those are like small things which Saka does, like keep holding up the ball or bringing players towards him so that Aubameyang is free, so that he can make his trademark runs. So you can see like Auba has been the biggest problem. His runs have become bad. He cannot break the offside trap. He's always offside. He loses the ball. His first touch is bad. It's almost worse than Lukaku. We all say Lukaku's touch is bad. No one like talks about Aubameyang. His touch is horrendous for like a good, like a center forward.
Yeah.
So we don't have a proper center forward right now. Like
should have kept Giroud.
Yeah, it's simple as that. Like why not like for the way we play right now, Giroud would have been like a great asset. Like we are asking Aubameyang to do a Giroud's job, hold up and bring the others into the play. It's not Auba's job, and we clearly know that. And even though we try to like cross to Auba, why are we even trying cross to Auba? He cannot hit the ball. That's known to everyone. So
it's mathematics. It's just a matter
of see, even like Liverpool and Manchester City, they do is cross, and they keep on doing that. We know like how Liverpool play. It's just TIA and Robertson crossing, but you see the quality of the crosses they do. Like we can't expect that from Saka or like Smith Rowe. Even KT who crosses, it's not that great when you compare it with Robertson. And if you take City, they also do crosses, not that much. But what they do is the crosses are so precise, it goes to the players. They create so many chances. They could easily score 10 or 10 goals every game. But given that they have Sterling and Jesus and stuff, they only score 2 or 3. So it's the quality of the crosses and the quality of the play. Right now, the biggest problem is we don't have a proper center forward who could bring Saka and Smith Rowe into the game or finish the chances which they create, which is minimal right now. So you need a proper center forward. Right now, Abba has been.
The other question is, like, Arun, especially now that Deepak was mentioning about creating chances. Now we have like Saka and ESR maybe creating some chances, but is that why we need Odegaard? For me, that's why I feel like why are we sticking to Lacazette? Yes, it worked for certain games. I'm not questioning Lacazette's commitment and everything, but again, Lacazette is not the answer. The answer is to have a number 10 who could play, and the current number 10 that we have is Odegaard.
Yeah, Odegaard has to play. I mean, like the Lacazette thing worked because we needed to get players more involved in the game. Like we've been talking, Aubameyang was a holding player, but like we have like we're talking about, there's no, even with Aubameyang not being able to hold play up, there has been nothing like coming from either Saka or ESR. You know, like they've been like trying to get into the final third. They provide the dynamism, yes, but in terms of creating chances, they have not been able to do much. Like Deepak said, Saka does the thing before you probably, I wouldn't call it pre-assist, but he does things that could possibly lead to a chance creation. ESR is more at the end of things right now than like, starting things. So we need someone who can start things, and the only person who can possibly do that with the skill set that he possesses in the team is Odegaard, and that's why we got him, right? So he needs to be starting games. He needs to be the one who can pull strings in there. But what I would do is I would make sure that Odegaard is protected. Because in the last few games, one of the things that led to him being dropped from the team was the fact that he was completely rendered inefficient by double, triple marking. At which point the other two midfielders in the center were not sort of like protecting him in any way. I know that we've gone past the days of like having a luxury number 10 who needs to be protected, but we need to do that at this point. We need goals, and if that's the only way for us to get it, we need to have some sort of a protection for him that will enable him to like beat the three-man pressing. It's usually like you two men, if you're a quality player, you can get out. 3 men, it's very difficult. So you need a protection. So I would definitely bring Odegaard back. I need my chances. I need my chances to be created. So if there are 2 chances, I'm pretty sure that he would have at least 1 in there. So I would, and if that one can be converted with Alba's runs, yes, I think like these 2 should work. On paper, I don't see any reason why they shouldn't work. But then on the pitch, we are a different team. So so I mean, like this should work. Odegaard should be back as number 10. Lacazette experiment is done. The ideal situation would be Odegaard and Lacazette playing together.
Yeah.
But I do not see that happening. I think like if Arteta does drop Aubameyang, it's going to cause like huge ripples. I know he did that again for the Tottenham game, but things have moved past from then on. Like Abba is now being hailed as a leader and all that. So anything that he does now to drop him, I know it's a lot of things about the reputation and everything. And so given all that, I ideal would be playing both Laka and Ode together, but I don't see that happening. So it's going to be like Ava and Ode. That's what I would like to see.
But the news coming out of tabloids or whatever is that we are going to sell 3 players in January, or try to sell 3 players in January. One is Lacazette. So yeah, I'm not.
Yeah. Good luck generating 50 million selling those 3 players. Yeah.
We won't even get 20 million or
Yeah.
15.
Exactly. Yeah. Try selling all 3 of them for 50. Good luck.
But yeah, but that's the truth, right? Lacazette is not going to be with us for long run. He has not signed any contract extension. I don't think we have offered him anything like long term that he is expecting. So he is out of the team. So I don't see a point if he's out of the team as soon as January, which is like scarily close.
Actually, there is a big point. I think like we are thinking too much about a person leaving and not thinking about the value that they can add right now. It's a big point. Like you can think about Eddie or Flo, but then neither of those two guys is ready to like step up and start doing things right away. We've seen that in games like the first game. Balogun was just like marked out of the game.
Yeah.
But again, this is learning. So when we are in need of goals, when we are in need of points, when we are in need of chances getting created, and if Lacazette is able to do that and make the team move forward, I wouldn't think about the value later in the future or like not playing him. I need those 3 points right now. He's getting me those 3 points, and I would keep playing him if he can get me those 3 points. If he's going to live in the winter, leave in the winter, yeah, at that point we can think about stuff. But like that's a bridge that we need to be crossing when we get there. Yeah, if we had everything set in place and we had fantastic systems, we were scoring goals and all that, we can think about like the next step, the transition. Now we are struggling for goals. Like finding one goal for us is like finding water in the desert. That's how precious each one of them is. So given all that, I would definitely like be functional, be efficient, get the maximum out of Lacazette if he's leaving. Probably have an agreement with him that would not prevent him from leaving anytime he wants. So keep it decent from both sides. Play him, get the maximum out of him. Not worry about like other.
Okay. So let's start this way, right, Deepak? The danger men is what we would talk about before going on to the predictions, right? The danger men from Arsenal for you for this game would be.
I have no other choice. It's you need a Auba to score goal. So he has to be the danger man, or he can be the danger man for Arsenal as well in the other way around.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. like if you think about it, maybe like had Odegaard's goal gone in that game, the one that Auba prevented, we might be seeing a different Odegaard. We might be seeing like a more confident Odegaard who could have started the next game. I don't know,
But again, sticking to Deepak, right? Danger person from Newcastle.
It's obvious. It's Saint Maxim. He's their best player. Even though he doesn't have that much end product or something, he has improved a lot in that front this season. So he's an obvious choice. And I would say Shelby, he is their midfield. He runs their midfield pretty much. He's one of the underrated players in Premier League. So these two.
Okay. Arun, your thoughts on the danger man?
Danger man.
Say Willock.
Yeah, I was about to. I'm thinking. I'm going to say Willock. I'm actually thinking about the next one. Willock is an obvious choice.
Joelinton.
Joelinton. No, Joelinton is not. I've never seen him to be too big of a threat. He's failed continuously, which also makes me think he could possibly like do something against us.
Yeah, Wilson. He is a good.
Callum Wilson.
Yeah, Wilson. I'm thinking more about Wilson. Actually, to be fair, I would say like Wilson and San Maximin. Okay. Alan San Maximin and Wilson. ASM and Wilson would be the danger men, because Wilson is like he's one of those Darren Bent, Jermaine Defoe type of strikers who is functional, gets the goals, gets the numbers, but doesn't really matter if he performs well against the big teams or not. But he's going to keep your team in there. So that's one. And San Maximin is the X factor. His pace, his physicality. So that's going to be a huge thing against our fullbacks and wingers. So yeah, them both would be the main danger.
And from Arsenal,
entire team.
Probably it would be our centre back scoring something from Gabriel, scoring from a set piece. That's it.
Danger man, I really want to say Saka. I want to see him like putting in a good shift. Like Deepak said, his numbers have gone down. But then like he did not have great numbers last season as well. It was like the sort of impact that he was creating that was helping us. But his numbers also reflect, like we've been talking about, in overall numbers for the team, right? So I want him to start like doing things that show people, because he started getting doubters and I don't like it. So I want him to like start putting up the numbers again. So I would say Saka mainly.
Okay.
We really miss a goal scoring winger.
Oh, another news. Apparently, United have agreed with Ralph Ragnick for
Yeah,
interim
he's a good
manager.
coach.
Oh, that's bad news.
Yeah,
He's
it's
a
his,
manager.
That's a bad news.
Yeah, hopefully the thing is he doesn't become their director of football. Like
Yeah.
yeah.
he's like a really good
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
If that happens, it's good for United and bad for everyone.
Yeah, but okay. Coming back to our game, I think for us, it's going to be Partey for me. I think Arsenal would need someone to control the midfield, and if Partey has a good game, that's what we are going to get. And I really need Partey to score that one goal that he has been trying forever, shooting from outside the box. I want him to score that one goal so that he could, let off that thought process. And from Newcastle, and I think more than Saint Maximum, I'm worried about Joe Linton a little bit because he had a very good game against Brentford last game, and he's been
then he's due a bad game given like how he performs. So, bad games. I would say.
So yeah, that's where it is. So let's wrap this up with our predictions. Arun, do you want to go first with the predictions?
2-1.
2-1 to Arsenal.
I would have said 3-0, but I would given like how Newcastle have been banging shot after shot, I would say they have a possibility of a goal, so I would say 2-1.
Okay, 2-1 it is. You want
ideally I want it to be a 3-0.
But okay, 2-1. Let's stick to 2-1. Whom are you predicting as the scorers?
Scorers, I wish I knew. ESR, and I want to say ESR and probably a centre back score. Let's say Gabriel.
Okay. Deepak predictions.
1-1.
Not even going for the win.
No, I think this might be turning out to be a tricky game. Since Newcastle have a new manager, they might have that new manager bounce. And we cannot score a goal even if we have a gun to our head. So I don't think so. So it would be like 1-1, probably a set piece goal for us. I don't see us scoring from open play. So and like probably I probably a set piece goal for Newcastle as well. I think this would be a boring game.
Yeah. I have to get up at 4:30 in the morning.
I was just about to say that, and then I realized that you have to get up at 4:30 in the morning to watch. I was about to complain about getting up at 7:30 to watch.
I have to get up 4:30 in the morning to watch the game, so it better not be boring because I cannot keep up with a boring game. But I'm hoping for a much more positive result from it because we have been talking about not scoring and all those things. So I'm thinking we would get a 3-1 victory. I'm thinking there will be
need to like score goals because everyone is saying 4-0 Liverpool move on. We lost 4-0. It affects our goal difference. We are having -4 right now, and with so many teams like in and around with those points, goal difference becomes like a huge factor. So losing to 4-0 wasn't like a great result. It was a very bad result.
True. Like if we were scoring goals in other games, then this would like be again like it more than the result. The numbers that we're seeing wouldn't matter as much, The result was like sort of a given, but the number is mattering a lot right now because of how badly we're playing around it. Had we been scoring like 2 goals a game, or at least like 1.5 goals a game, I don't think this would have mattered at this point.
Especially these are the teams that we could actually score against. So
it's your home game, win 3-0 or something, do something and improve that goal difference.
Yeah.
We haven't even reached double figure goal difference this season.
Double figure,
more than 5, I guess.
No, we have not reached that. So anyways, guys, it's been a nice one. Hopefully we will meet after a victory. That's what I'm hoping. So fingers crossed. Thank you guys for joining in today, and hopefully, we'll meet again after the game. Bye.
Bye.